Hello, wonderful people. This is Tom Check, Choice Coaching, coming to you today to talk a little bit about an experiment that I've been running over the last couple months. I've had a couple people ask me to share more about it, so today I figured I would. The experiment that I've been running since October for myself is called a surrender experiment. And I lovingly refer to it as the hardest simple experiment I've ever done. So, what is a surrender experiment? It is the practice of noticing when I am resisting something, and that can be something big, something small, something external, something internal. And instead of continuing to fight and resist that thing, to do that thing instead. So do the thing I resist. And that is incredibly challenging, as you might imagine. What does this look like? What are some examples? It could be something as small as my resistance to closing my computer when it's time to eat lunch, because the little voice inside of me says that I should be working hard and I've got all this stuff on my to-do list, and if I don't get it done, then I'm a failure and blah, 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 and I don't need to pay attention to my food anyway. And so I just noticed that, right? That noticing skill that's so important to learning and growing. I notice that I'm having that resistance. And when I notice it, then I choose to step into it and I say, okay, so because I'm resisting eating lunch without a computer in front of me, that's what I'm going to do. And that sounds really simple, but it's really, really challenging. I will be the first to admit it's one of the most challenging things. And it happens in all sorts of scenarios. Sometimes I resist saying something that's really authentically me because I'm worried about how somebody else might take it. And when I notice that resistance come up, I go ahead and say the thing that's really authentically me. Or, like recently, I had a session with a client that maybe didn't go as well as either of us would have liked, for a number of reasons. And I just wanted to go into the pity party cave, right? I just wanted to drink a couple beers and eat a couple cookies and veg out and watch Netflix and pretend like it never happened. And it took me a second. I did start eating cookies and watching Netflix before I noticed the resistance. That's how challenging it is. But once I did, I stopped and I took my pen and paper and I started asking myself, why? Why did I feel this way? And I didn't want to. It's uncomfortable to do that kind of self-exploration, even when I do it a lot. But because I'm doing this experiment, this surrender experiment, it was what I needed to do. And I found some really amazing answers about the guilt that I had about maybe not holding space effectively for that client. And it really led to some meaningful growth that took me forward in my coaching. And has impacted every client session I've had since then. And so it is a really simple concept to do the things you're resisting. Now, of course, we're not talking about breaking down any moral or values, boundaries here. Don't do bad things. Be a good human. But most of the stuff we resist just because it's uncomfortable, not because it's bad. And to step into surrendering that resistance and moving into the things that I am choosing to resist has really shifted the way that I view a lot of different things in my life. So that's a little bit more about it. It initially comes from a book by that same title, Surrender Experiment, by Michael Singer, who's an author that I really appreciate. And it's a really, you can do it on small things, you can do it on big things, you can do it without telling anybody. And the learning that you get out of it could just change your life. So for those that are interested, that's what I've been up to. Look forward to talking to you again soon.